What's going on, everybody? Kenny Dubs here with a Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. Now today I kind of just wanted to talk about my experiences after playing this game for 2 weeks, go over some things regarding the game, things I like, things I dislike, and maybe potentially help some of you figure out if you want to play the game or not. So far, I have been enjoying this game. It has that classic Final Fantasy VII-esque feel to it. For those of you that have played the base game of Final Fantasy VII, you have an idea of what I mean in just a minute. But I do really enjoy this game so far. As for what I meant previously, if I go to my party here real quick, much like the original Final Fantasy VII, the materia system gives you quite a bit of customization with this, and that allows you to basically set up characters however you want. For example, I can set up Tifa as a mage in this game with her materia loadout and with some specific weapons, which is pretty cool. I haven't exactly gotten around to doing that yet because I'm still working on like my main set of weapons. And something else I want to point out, it's very, very important. I didn't know that I needed Tifa in a wet t-shirt, but here we are. I needed this. Thank you, Square, for delivering. Anyway, back to, a bit more serious. The weapon customization in this alongside the materia, it really feels like Final Fantasy VII. As you can see, my Tifa is kind of built more physically, but if I were to go pick a weapon like the Crystal Gloves right here, the Crystal Gloves give her Thundaga and give her a bit more magic than attack. You see here, right? So I can make her a bit more magey build like that. And speaking of the weapons, working on the weapons has been surprisingly interesting for me, to say the least. I do like the weapon customization in this game. It feels like there's always something to work towards because of the weapons, right? Even if I end up finishing my main party, or main party's weapons, I can still work on some sub weapons, to slot in for different things, right? Like maybe if I want Tifa to be more of a main support than an off support, I slot in some more healing based things on her, so to boost her healing potency and things like that. And one of my favorite things about this game, especially compared to other gachas, is the way that you can upgrade weapons. So as you see down here, there's quite a few weapons that I have that are 3-star and some 4-star. In this game, you can build up your 3 and 4-star weapons into the 5-star versions of the weapons. I can't exactly show that per se right now, but what I can do is if I click on this, you see this is the 4-star version of the motor drive. I click this right here, you see the 5-star version of the motor drive. So if I get enough copies of this, I can make this into a 5-star version. Or if when I'm pulling, I get lucky and I pull a 5-star version of the motor drive, this 4-star 50 out of 50 motor drive just gets upgraded into a 5-star motor drive, which I think is very, very cool. I haven't seen any of the gacha games that do that, or even let you build up your 3 stars into the 5-star gacha versions of them. But I really like that. And then of course, here's a max one when you fully awaken. You go past the red stars into the you go from yellow to red to like this pinkish white color. And that's just something you can do with the weapons that I really, really like as well. Something else I really, really like about this game, and something I also haven't seen on other games, is the wishlist system. This is pretty nice because this allows you to basically increase the chances of you getting specific things from the gacha. And some things get added pretty quickly here. Right over here, you can see the Murasame, which was, I believe that's the first banner weapon. And it's already added to the regular pool, and I can pull it on the 3rd banner after the gacha has ended for that. That's pretty cool there. That's something else I really like. And if you look here, you can see that some certain weapons are in yellow, and the number has a yellow arrow up next to it. That's because those weapons are on my wish list, or some of them are on my wish list, right? The top 2 are the 1% ones are the feature weapons. Then down here, you see there's a bunch of 5 stars with 0.02, and then there's one with 0.8. That's roughly that's really close to the featured weapon rate. So I really, really like that as well. For the gacha, so that you can kind of have a better chance of getting some things you want, even if they are off banners. Kind of talk about the content available in the game as well. They've been adding content pretty consistently, and it's pretty nice. We've had our first event. I thought it was gonna basically just be the first half of the event. But then they surprised us with the second half of the event, so that was pretty cool. We also got some more endgame-ish content recently in the Crisis Dungeons, I think it's called. Yeah, in the Crisis Dungeons. I still have to do quite a bit of this because I have been slacking. I've been trying to get my weapons leveled up and such, but I do like how frequently they seem to be adding this content here. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about some things I'm not as enthusiastic about in this game. And I think I'm going to start by probably, I don't want to say maybe the most polarizing, but the materia system in this game. So the materia system is definitely an endgame kind of thing, and I'm not sure if I can make a really good comparison for it, but the some people have compared this to like artifact grinding in Genshin. I never played Genshin, so I can't really make that comparison. But there's so much RNG in the materia system, and it's just kind of like ugh, because you need materia to help your character to get strong. Add additional stats to them, get additional attacks. And real quick here, if I go to claim all, you can see I got 1 and 2 star materia. Not the greatest, but 2 star can still be serviceable. And one of the things I don't like about it is materia can be between 1 and 5 star, so that's already RNG there. And then you see here, I have substats. Now the substat on this Ruin Blow is actually physical attack, which is good because this is a physical materia. So I kind of like that. It would have been better if it was a 3 star at least, but you know what? Can't complain too much. But you can see this one in the middle has 3 stats. This one also has physical attack. However, this is a flat value. So this flat value isn't as good as this percentage value. So not only do you have to roll the right stat, you'll then have to also roll it as a percentage instead of as a flat value, because those just end up being better for scaling. That's one of the things I don't really like about this game, especially with how like important materia is and how hard you have to go for it. On top of that, there's also a chance that your materia can, when you go to evolve your materia. So if I go over here to this Ruin Blow right here, I can upgrade my materia, and if I'm lucky when I upgrade it, I'll click it right here just to see if it'll happen. I don't really want to evolve this one or upgrade this one, but we'll see. All right, it didn't happen. There is a chance that when you upgrade materia, it can increase a star ranking. So there's a chance that this Ruin Blow could have gone from 2 star to 3 star while upgrading it, and that would have made it a little bit better statistically. It did not. I also don't really want to keep this one, so it's not that big of a deal. But I did want to see if I could show that. So there's a lot of RNG just involved with the materia system in general. So that's definitely something I can see that pushes players away, or like makes them like, not want to really get too involved with this game. Now I want to come back here and talk about the weapon system, because although I did just praise the weapon system, there's also something I very much dislike about it. So I mentioned earlier that you can actually upgrade a weapon star ranking by getting like duplicates, or if you have the generic pieces. I didn't really go too far into it because if you play the game, you'll know I don't want to just go into it right now. But if I click on, let's say, Barn Swallow here, and I click Rarity, and I click Overboost. Now, if I was to overboost, as you can see, 200, I would need 200 of the 3-star copies of it, which, it's fine, or the specific parts. 200 to go to increase a 5-star. That's pretty, that's okay, right? So from 5-star to above 5 stars, 200. However, the problem I have with that is that the going from 4-star to 5-star is also 200, weapon parts. I feel like it should be a little bit less from 4-star to 5-star, because you're going up into 5-star from a lower ranking, and then from 5-star onwards, it's 200 each time. I would prefer that a lot more. At least it's less from 3-star to 4-star. If I click on, let's just click on the W machine gun for Barrett here. If you click on this, we already see this needs 10. So, I mean, going from needing 10 to needing 200 is a huge jump. But the counterpoint to that is at least there's a way to take your 3 stars into 5 stars. So even if you are unlucky with the gacha, you can eventually build up into the 5-star versions of a weapon. And I guess the final thing I want to touch on is the co-ops. Now, co-ops in general, like in games, a lot of times I just don't really feel like doing them. Unfortunately, in this game, co-ops are pretty important for progression and you know, just making progress and getting materials. And you can't really see down here, but they want you to get, like, you're capped on how many co-op medals you can get a week, which is okay, you know, that's fine. But the issue that I have with that is, say I want to host this co-op right here, very hard to. I have my Aerith loaded up. I cannot just look for a pug because my total power isn't high enough. I really don't like that. Like, you need to require total power in order to initiate a co-op. You can still private match it, but it's a bit more annoying that way. At least there's an option to do it, but I just don't really like that at all, to be quite honest. Like, because you don't even really need to be on par with the total power for a recommended power for the stage, right? Like, you see, I'm 34. Well, now I'm 33. This stage is 34. I can still attempt to do it. I think you only need like 27 or 28,000 recommended power for this one. And the previous one, even though it's 48,000 recommended power, you only need like 38,000 or something like that. So at least you get started earlier. But like the recommended power, it's just that, it's a recommendation, kind of like how Mega Man X Dive. The total power is a recommendation. You don't need to be at that power in order to beat the stage. Sure, it makes things easier, and you can be a lot more sloppy with how you're doing the stage, but it's just a recommendation. You can beat things underpowered pretty easily. One last thing I actually wanted to talk about before we wrap this up is the way that the grinding works in this game. So unlike other gacha games, there is no way to skip quests in this game. So if I need to grind something, I have to play through an entire stage manually. However, there is something kind of similar. If I click this right here, I'm not going to actually do the stage. You can see I have the 3 times energy multiplier. Now what this does is your stamina boost consumes 3 times the amount of stamina for a stage for 3 times the amount of rewards in a single battle. And I see this, I'm just like, well, why don't you just let us skip the stage? I was speaking to someone, I brought this up before, and someone said, oh, that's because, you know, you can get a rare encounter enemy, so you get more rewards for that, so then the stamina boost has a lot more value. And I was like, okay, I guess, but then why can I not just have a option for a bigger multiplier, aside from 3? Like, maybe 5 times multiplier? Because you're still cutting down the amount of times I have to run the stage by using a stamina boost, right? I still have to run the stage once either way. So I would just like a bigger stamina boost, realistically, to make things a little bit easier to cut back on the grinding even more. But that's more of a personal gripe, because you can just auto the stages as well. But I would just prefer it if it was a bit more streamlined with other games, like with War of the Visions, Mega Man X Dive, you know, what have you, where you can just skip the stages and still reap the rewards. Alright, and I think that about wraps things up mostly for my 2-week account progress. I didn't really show that I was 2 weeks in, but you can see here, my total logins are at 14 out of 20, so I'm at 2 weeks here now. So I just wanted to show that real quick. And finally, should you play this game? I think it's going to be a bit of a toss-up. I think if you're a fan of the Final Fantasy VII series, you'll probably enjoy this game. If you're newer to Final Fantasy and maybe you don't have experience with gachas, I'm not sure that you would enjoy it all that much, just because there's a lot of farming that you need to do, and it can get pretty daunting. And I could definitely see that turning away some people. Alright, but I think that's about it. Like I said, I think if you're a fan of Final Fantasy VII or gacha games, you'll be okay in this game. If you're newer to gacha games, maybe you might not enjoy this all that much, or it might be harder for you to get into. But if you're a fan of Final Fantasy VII, I would definitely recommend at least checking this out a little bit, because you know, Final Fantasy VII, like, it's already something that you might have interest in. The graphics look good. The music is also very, very good. Like, I love the prelude theme here. Like, all the other music is really, really nice in here as well. But yeah, that's it for this video. Just kind of wanted to make this real quick to share my experiences with the first 2 weeks of the game. I need to go back to grinding on this game so that I can get more stuff done. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. Later.